My name is Micah. Today I'm going to be ranking the best outfits in The Girls Next Door, starting with Bridget. Bridget is, I think, the most visually interesting character on the show, at least for me. Although I go back and forth for sure. I think that her outfits demonstrate a lot of creativity. I think that they characterize her really well. I think she leans into theming, arguably more than any of the other characters. She certainly has a very good eye for style and fashion. I think that she represents herself very well and seems to have this innate sense about what's going to look good on her body. And she also demonstrates a capacity to style herself, I think, in very interesting ways. She pushes boundaries. She doesn't always just go for what's going to be classically, conventionally pretty, which I think is incredibly interesting, and not just visually, but thematically in the show. I'm not inherently interested in Playboy. This is not, going to be a commentary on the larger politics of Playboy or its morality or cultural impact necessarily. I think as a very conservative Christian Mormon woman, Playboy is just not my cup of tea. But I do think that the show has had an influence on culture. I'm fascinated by it, both because it is this time capsule into the early 2000s, and because the three main leads I find very relatable. I find, their desire to both fit in thematically, both in the storyline, so, they want to contribute to the show visually, but also they want to stand out, enough to be noticed. And I think that that is the quintessential feminine experience, wanting to fit in and to stand out, feeling like no matter what you do, you're not going to succeed. But I think that they handle it really well, all three of them, and I think that their costumes are a testament to that. So I'm going to be ranking 10 outfits and mentioning some honorable mentions. So for number 10, I have to go with the Jazz Festival dress. This one is featured in Season 1, Episode 3, Happy Birthday Kendra, and Bridget goes with this very classic baby pink dress that has sort of this halter top style tie. She styles her hair in a ponytail, which is incredibly flattering on her, and she embellishes the dress with these black felt music notes because they're going to a music festival. And I think it's just very quintessentially Bridget, both because it's pink, both because it's very, flattering on her body, and because it feels very Playboy, yes, but that extra creative touch with the felt music notes, it feels very Bridget. She clearly puts thought into the outfit, to matching the theme. She puts effort into contributing to the show, and showing enthusiasm for this event. The outfit has lived rent-free in my mind ever since I saw it. I would love to have a version of it made. I don't know how exactly I would pull that off, since I would have to make some adjustments, but I think it's incredibly flattering and beautiful on her. Number 9, this is from episode 8 of season 2, When in Rome. Bridget is wearing a Playboy take on a German dirndl when they're at the Hofbrauhaus. She's got this ruffled black skirt, low-cut top with these ties in the front. She's got her hair in braids with sort of this classic side-swept bangs that you'll remember if you were alive in the early 2000s. Her stockings are very cute, and they feel very Playboy. Again, she's dressed on theme. She's demonstrating her enthusiasm. She's just showing this very refreshing enthusiasm and willingness to participate. I think it's just really cool, and of course very flattering on her. And I think she is also part German, so I think that's a really interesting nod to her heritage as well. Number 8 is the Corpse Bride Halloween costume from Season 2, Episode 12, Girls Will Be Ghouls. I believe this costume was actually from the previous year. I don't think she actually wore it the same year that the episode was filmed, but I wanted to include it because I think it is also very quintessentially Bridget. It shows her complete commitment to the costume because she went all in with the blue body paint, which I don't think everyone would have done. I also think that she looks very interesting in this macabre take on a wedding dress. I think it's so interesting that the corpse bride as a character spoke to her, because I view that character as a metaphor for the feminine experience, but I also view it as a very feminist character. So the fact that she's wearing that at the Playboy Mansion is very interesting to me. I don't know if she meant it that way or she just thought it looked pretty. Either way, it's very flattering on her. I like the blue on her because we don't see her in blue very often. I like the distressed bottom of the dress. I like the way her hair is styled a lot too. I just wonder how long it took to get that body paint off. Number 7, Midsummer's Eve Princess. I guess today you would call it cultural appropriation. I don't know that her motives were that. I think she just wanted to fit the theme of the party, which was, I think, an Arabian Nights take on the Midsummer's Eve party. This is from season 4, episode 4, called Unveilings. I think the pink, of course, is very flattering on her. I think the embellishments and the bedazzlement is just a little bit much, but again, I get that she's trying to look very over the top for the party, and she wants to catch the light. And I love the way that her hair is styled with these sort of soft waves. I call it her mermaid hair, which I think is really, really pretty. I think the way she did her eye makeup too really stands out. It's really cool. And I think the way, when you see her move in the bottom half of the outfit, I think you have these sort of pink tendrils that are just very flattering. I had a dress like that once that had sort of these tendrils of fabric at the bottom that I have to say were incredibly fun to move in, because they kind of just swoosh around, and it's very, I think, very visually interesting and stunning. Number 6 is the Grace Kelly. I don't think it gets enough credit. It reminds me a lot of Grace Kelly's blue dress outfit in To Catch a Thief, which I have to think Bridget was going for, because this is from season 2, episode 6, The Full Monte Carlo. And if I'm thinking about the connection between Monaco, Grace Kelly, Monte Carlo, and then the movie in which she starred, To Catch a Thief, I have to think Bridget is aware of that connection. If not, it's just a very interesting coincidence, I guess, but I'm going to continue to call it the Grace Kelly look. I think that shade of blue is incredibly flattering on her. I love the way that the front and top of the dress is pleated. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think that the waistline with that sort of rolled band at the bottom of the waistline sets this dress apart from other dresses I've seen in a similar style. When she's walking, I think that the way that the fabric moves is incredibly flattering. I just think she looks like this sort of European goddess. I love the way that her hair is styled. I just think it's a gorgeous look. Number 5, Sunshiny in Kentucky. This is from the Kentucky Derby episode in season 5, episode 4, Kentucky Fried. This is so over the top and quintessential Bridget. It's this sunshiny yellow dress that's very feminine, and the moment I saw it, I was like, that is Barbie. That is 100% Barbie. You've got this big floral appliques, both on top of and on the bottom of the hat. The oversized hat feels very, quintessentially Kentucky Derby. The dress, it feels like something a little girl would put on a doll. There's just the 4-year-old girl in me wants this so badly. But I don't mean that in a way that it feels immature, because she can somehow pull it off. I feel like a lot of people could not pull off this look, but she can. I think sort of the soft waves in her hair, again, incredibly flattering. Not many people can pull off that shade of yellow, but she does. And I feel like it represents her, again, over-the-top enthusiasm and embracing of themes and events. She was not going to show up to the Kentucky Derby in something that was not 100% full Southern princess. Number 4 is this gothic vampiress outfit from season 1, episode 10, Ghost Busted. I just love she shows up in costume to a seance, because this is when they invite the psychic over to the mansion. So she's got this long black velvet gown with lace cutouts, and I like that the neckline is kind of a nod to a Victorian style, or like an early 1900s style. Maybe a nod to the legend of Mrs. Letts, who was, I guess, died in the mansion in an earlier time period. But of course it has to be Playboy, so there is a long slit that feels quite sexy. But again, I just love that she dresses themed in her own house for a seance. I just think that is very quintessentially Bridget. Plus, I just like to see her in gothic looks, because that's something that she expresses interest in. So I just think it's cool. This New Orleans party outfit from season 5, episode 14, The Big Easy Does It. Feels, again, very quintessentially Bridget. Love the way her hair is styled. I think that the pointy-toed boots are very, very flattering on her. They do not look comfortable to be walking around New Orleans in, but they are very gorgeous. I love the way that they're laced. I think that the fullness of the skirt is very flattering. It feels very Southern Belle. I don't know if that's what she was going for, but that's what it reminds me of. The lacing feels a little costumey, but it is flattering. I love that shade of red on her, that sort of wine, dark red. That color, I think, really suits her. I like the transition from the sort of the bodice area to the skirt. I think that looks really cool. I think overall it's just a very, very interesting outfit. I wonder if those are the same boots that she wears in the witch photo shoot in one episode. I don't know. Either way, I think they look really, really good. Number 2 is the dress she wears in season 3, episode 10, Home Sweet Sweet. I believe it's her grandmother's wedding dress from 1943, which she wears as a nod to Casablanca, which is the movie that they're watching that night, which I believe was filmed in 1942. I could be wrong on that. But the scene with her mother helping her get into the dress, I think, is incredibly sweet. The fact that she's wearing this dress shows her deep connection to her family, which of course is very Bridget. It shows her, again, 100% embracing the theme. Shows her being willing to be a little bit edgy. I don't know that this dress would be considered mainstream Playboy style or mainstream Y2K style, but she's willing to go a little bit outside of the box to fit the theme. And I think that that's why I find her so visually interesting, and both interesting aesthetically and interesting as a character, because she is willing to take a risk to be creative. And I think that's really cool. Plus, I just love how her hair looks with the dress, the way she styled it. It has sort of this nod to a vintage curl. It's not a full vintage curl, but it's a nod to it. And I just think it really suits her face shape very well. Some honorable mentions. This one is what I call the Minnie Mouse dress from season 3, episode 10, Home Sweet Sweet. At the signing, you don't get a great shot of it, but it looks like it's red with white polka dots and spaghetti straps. So again, that's why I'm calling it Minnie Mouse. It looks very flattering on her, very feminine, very classic Bridget. But again, there's not really a good shot of it, so I didn't want to, technically include it. This is from season 3, episode 1, Snow Place Like Home. I think it's really cool that she matched her accessories to her coat. And I think it's very brave that she is drinking wine with what I assume is wine with a white coat on a moving bus. I think that is an interesting choice. I love the fluffy earmuffs. I love her hair in that ponytail. I love the coat with that sort of faux fur collar. Feels very feminine. I think it'd be called coquette now. I could be wrong. But I think she was definitely ahead of her time with theming. These are what I call our Cinderella cosplays. This is from season 2, episode 7, I See London, I See France. I love the blue on her. I love the way her hair is styled. It's so elegant. It's clear that she put a lot of time and effort and thought into the way she looks in these confessionals. Which, again, it's a confessional, so, if it were me, I wouldn't put that much thought into them, but she clearly has gone above and beyond. I love the headband and the look on the left. I love that both have sort of these soft polka dots and this sort of gently oversized sleeves, like they're not just flat sleeves. They both have just a slight, ruffle or pucker to them, which makes them visually interesting and feminine. I think they're both great. This is what I assume is a Barachi gown. It's this very, very pale, sort of fleshy pink color that she wears in the filming of her movie, The Telling, featured in season 5, episode 12, Fangs for the Memories. We don't get a great shot of it. We see her sitting down in the dress, but we don't see her standing in the dress for very long. But in the brief glimpses of it that I could find, I love the way it moves on her body. I love the beading on it. I think it really catches the light. It feels very glamorous. Plus her hair is gorgeous. This is from Season 3, Episode 12, Dangerous Curves. The episode is mostly Kendra focused, and Kendra has a lot of really cute outfits in that episode as well. But I'm really fascinated by Bridget, again, wearing black boots, which are just very flattering on her, and this race car themed outfit. And then number 1, I don't think would be surprising to anybody. It's from Season 1, Episode 14, Clueless. This is at Bridget's murder mystery birthday party. I think it's incredibly glamorous. The red really accentuates her eyes. I love the way she did her makeup. Her hair feels very old Hollywood glamour. I like that it's not down, because I feel like if it were down, it would overwhelm the dress. But the way that it's up, sort of out of the way, but also incredibly elegant, really complements and suits the outfit. I think the faux feather shoulders are really, really flattering and beautiful. I love the way that the dress moves when she's walking down the stairs. I don't know how they got that volume and body to the bottom of the dress, but either way, the movement is completely gorgeous and lovely. And I think that not only does it fit the theme of the birthday party, but also it just have an underlying theme in the series is Bridget's love for old Hollywood. And Holly demonstrates that love for old Hollywood too. But I think with Bridget, again, she just has this overwhelming and sort of contagious attitude for Los Angeles and Hollywood history that I, as a viewer, kind of, just appreciate. And I think that it's really, really cool that she embraced that to this extent. Plus, it just looks gorgeous on her. Okay, so those are my picks. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I might do Kendra next, or maybe Holly. We'll see.